G'day battlers, and today we're going up against Barrage SF in some Ferocious Cup battles, and we have a pretty good lead here. We've got Alolan Ninetales versus Alolan Raichu. Battle of the Alolans. Now Alolan Raichu is really squishy, and our charm was just so powerful, it was doing massive damage. So we switch out of Alolan Ninetales just as getting the charge move off, expecting this to be a bubble beam so we don't shield up, and that's exactly what it was. So we are going to get debuffed. He's going to be able to get to another bubble beam before we get to the grass knot. So again, we're pretty confident it's going to be a bubble beam, so we let it come through, get debuffed again, and now we're going to get this grass knot off. So we'll see, he probably won't shield up because it won't faint him down after being debuffed twice. And yeah, he lets it go through, so we can tank that one grass knot. It's getting off another charge move here. I'm feeling like it's going to be another bubble beam though, and just a shield bait, and it is a bubble beam, so we're hopefully able to Shadow Claw down. Actually, we're not going to be able to. Shadow Claw is just not powerful enough, and we were trying to get that grass knot off, but unfortunately we just weren't able to, and he got a charge move off because of it. Luckily it doesn't faint us down, it was just a bubble beam, and we're still going to be able to faint down the Suicune. But it's not the best because we are going to do even less damage up against his next Pokemon, which is a Torkoal, which is an interesting one. So this is, I think, the first time I've ever faced a Torkoal. So I'm going to throw the grass knot just before I go down. Switch out into Shelgon because I know Shelgon, I just want to keep that Alolan Ninetales for the Alolan Raichu basically. So bring out the Shelgon, see what he can do. Wasn't too sure of what Torkoal's moves were, and he does throw the Earthquake. So that's definitely, it's a pretty big one, and we do shield it up. So we let this charge move come through from the Alolan Raichu. It is a grass knot, which, as you can see there, it was resisted by Shelgon, so definitely good. Get off this Outrage. We don't have the best charge moves on our Shelgon. Oh, Dragon Pulse, sorry. We don't have Twister, which is definitely what you want to be having. Dragon Breaths, again, just absolutely smashing through the Alolan Raichu. We're kind of just happy for him to get off any charge moves that he wants to against Shelgon, because we know we can just bring in Alolan Raichu, Alolan Ninetales, and should be able to faint down. We actually bring in Linoone, because he was on that minimal health, maybe in the chance of, if he happens to get a charge move off, but he didn't use one, and it didn't matter either way because Alolan Ninetales was able to take him down. So now we've got Alolan Ninetales back in, this time up against Torkoal. So we shield up against Torkoal because we really don't want to get hit with that Earthquake. Hope to be able to charm down the Torkoal. Looks like we're not going to be able to, so we throw the Psyshock, and then we're just going to have to... that should finish off the Torkoal. Down goes the Torkoal, and that is GG's. So, as much as we were keeping the Alolan Ninetales for the Alolan Raichu, turns out that he wasn't the worst up against Torkoal. Torkoal is definitely something that I'm going to need to be figuring out a little more as these battles progress. So this time we've got Umbreon versus Nidoqueen. Now, this isn't a great matchup just because Earth Power and Earthquake are going to be doing super effective damage to us. It's not the end of the world up against Nidoqueen, it's just not a great one. So we throw the charge move and then get out of there straight away into Bibarel. He's a little slow on the switch there, which definitely works in our favour. He brings in the Shiny Flex Alolan Ninetales. We're getting off a Surf here, and he starts to shield up. Which you could go either way. We're going to get another Surf off, so he's really just trying to charm us down, but it's just... Second Surf, really good for us. He burns both shields, protecting that Alolan Ninetales, so really trying to keep it around. I guess he knows that we have Umbreon, and we do have Skuntank, which is also going to be able to... which is going to be taking a lot of damage from the Alolan Ninetales too. Even though we're going to be able to do some good damage with the quick moves, we're going to have to shield up that Psyshock. It's just not worth the risk. Finish off the Alolan Ninetales. He's got no shields, we've still got one shield. Brings in the Nidoqueen with energy ready, and we decide to just let it come through. Oh, no, we don't. We shielded up. Oh, okay. Yep. Never mind. I'm with it. I switch into Umbreon. He switches into Bibarel. Bibarel? Seriously, I've googled it I don't know. I'm just going to say what I want to say. I'm going to call him Water Beaver again. Back to our roots. And we're going to be able to do some pretty good damage up against the Water Beaver with our Dark Pulse. Gets the Surf off. Umbreon's just so tanky that it's not really doing anything to us. And just... chugging away all of the Umbreon battles. If ever there is a game that times out in Ferocious Cup, you know that Umbreon was probably there. Or, more likely Suicune doing bubble beams and bringing stuff down. But anyway, Nidoqueen gets the Earth Power off, finishes off the Umbreon. We throw a Flamethrower to get rid of that Nidoqueen, and bye-bye Nidoqueen, and that is GG's. So even though there was that Alolan Ninetales and we were a little worried because we had both Dark types, we were able to pull through there with that Skuntank, and yeah. That's into the next battle. A bit of that. So Alolan Ninetales mirror match here. Now there's the most popular way to play it in not throwing a charge move if you think your opponent is going to throw a charge move. But this time I decided to maybe just go for it. He gets off the charge move here. And we actually just let it come through, decide, you know what, going to keep the shield advantage. We've got Skuntank here who's going to be able to feint him with poison jabs, if it wasn't lagging, that is. And finally we start attacking away. Down goes the Alolan Ninetales, still holding on to both of our shields. Now we do have the energy advantage. This isn't a great matchup, so we charge us some extra energy and then switch into Shelgon. Shelgon, just a pretty good damage output Pokemon, basically. Gets the Hyper Fang off, which is definitely not all we wanted, but again, not the end of the world. Gonna just Dragon Breath away. We do have this Dragon Pulse ready, so we wanted to charge up some extra energy and then throw the Dragon Pulse in case he doesn't shield. And he decides to shield. He does have a fair bit of energy. We were hoping to be able to feint him down with Dragon Breaths. Maybe if we didn't throw the charge move, we would have feinted him down, or it would have been a simultaneous KO. At any rate, we're here now, so we get the Sludge Bomb off from the Skuntank onto the Torkoal, which does a fair amount of damage, which I was pretty surprised by. And because we charged up that extra energy before, we can get another Sludge Bomb off, basically straight away. Does burn his last shield. We're still holding onto both shields, and it's not looking like we're going to use either of them, which is definitely unfortunate. We could have turned the tide of this battle if we used them earlier, but sometimes that happens, especially in Ferocious Cup. You just hold on to your shields and like, oh, I'm going to use that. Oh, I thought we had an extra Pokemon in the back. So actually we won there with both shields and 1 HP. So definitely should have used the shields earlier, even if it came out with a win at the end. Don't want to hold on to the shields too tight. Now I've got Alolan Ninetales versus Suicune here. It's not a fantastic matchup because Suicune can take down those charms with the Bubble Beam attack debuff. Now, we thought it was going to be another Bubble Beam, but it actually does go for the Hydro Pump there, which is good and a bad. It means that this Grass Knot is not going to be debuffed, so he pretty much has to shield, and he does. Unfortunately, it's unlikely we're going to get to another Grass Knot unless we shield up this charge move. So that is exactly what we have to do. Shield up, and then even if that Bubble Beam is, I mean, it's not the best because this Grass Knot can... I can talk, I promise. This Grass Knot is debuffed, so we do get it off anyway just before we go down though, and he decides to burn his second shield. So he's used both shields here, bring in the Alolan Ninetales, thinking that we're probably going to get Bubble Beamed here, and it is a Hydro Pump, so he's got us twice in this one game with that Hydro Pump. Again, it is alright because we're going to be able to do some bigger damage with the charms, not debuffed. We shield up this time, even though it was just going to be a Bubble Beam to protect Alolan Ninetales' health. We're going to be able to get this Psyshock off. We want to see what it is first. And it is a Torkoal, so we try to get that Psyshock off, but unfortunately it just didn't happen, which was pretty devastating. And we've got Alolan Marowak in the back. Earthquake coming through now, and it is going to do tons of damage. This is GG's. Goodbye, Alolan Marowak. Oh, not actually quite. Getting the Bone Club off, but it's not enough to turn the tide of the battle. Down he goes. Actually, did a fair chunk, but Bone Club is just such a bad move. Such a bad move. I don't really recommend Alolan Marowak for this cup. I know that I'm not using fire what's the fire quick move? That one, not Flame Wheel. Fire Spin, that's it. So anyway, we've got Linoone versus Bibarel in the lead matchup. Obviously, the Grass Knot's going to be doing super effective, but just because he can get to the charge moves a little quicker, it's not a great spot for us, basically. So he throws his first Surf, and we decide to shield up. We charge us some extra energy, throw the Grass Knot now, expecting the shield to come up, and it does. He's going to be able to get to another charge move before we can get this Grass Knot off, but we're getting the Grass Knot off first, so I'm wondering if he's charging up extra energy, or if I'm heavily mistaken, but he lets the Grass Knot go through, gets this charge move off with a sliver of health. It is a Surf. So we've kind of just shielded up to protect ourselves, keep the lead advantage going. He does have that shield advantage though, which is something we're going to have to worry about. Brings in Alolan Raichu, which I really should have stayed in that matchup, just because the Shadow Claw was doing super effective. Probably could have got the Grass Knot off, but at any rate, sorry about that. Brings in the we've got Alolan Mirror. We had the Alolan Mirror match. He brings in Nidoqueen. He's able to easily take out our Alolan Ninetales. Nothing we could do. Even if he were able to get to a Psyshock, he was still holding onto a shield. So in comes the Linoone, get the Grass Knot off, and that burns his shield. He's getting off a charge move here. I'm not sure if he probably didn't need to throw the charge move that quickly. He could have farmed up a little more on my Linoone. But at any rate, in comes Skuntank. It's pretty much GG's. We're done for here because Earth, those ground moves are just doing massive damage to Skuntank, Earth Power, and we are basically out of there. So that is GG's. So thank you for watching. Thank you Braj SF for the battles. I actually want to start featuring some more creative side of the PvP scene, so I'll be doing that starting in the next video, hopefully. I have lined up a couple. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Smash that subscribe one, and I'll see you in the next one. Actually, we also recently hit 600 subscribers, so thanks for that one. And just 400 till we get to 1,000, so let's go there. Bow, 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 bow.